Today, I want to talk a little business strategy. Hello everyone and welcome to the show. I'm your host Steve Campbell. Happy Thursday. I actually forgot it was Thursday today. I woke up thinking it was Wednesday until I heard on the radio when I was driving Melissa into work that it was in fact Thursday. So in true spirit of using this as a daily journal, I want to talk about business strategy today. In particular, I want to talk about product launches. As a marketer and former ad agency exec, I think that I'm just trained naturally to think about product launches in terms of, you know, you're going to have a plan and you're going to have a marketing strategy, and then weeks and months are going to go by, and then all of this buildup is going to lead to the actual launch day. To further illustrate this for you, I've gathered some props. So when you think of a typical product life cycle, what you think about is this big shiny object that you and your team create, and that is your, God damn it. So the typical way to launch a product or a business, at least in my mind and what I've seen online, is to develop a thing and then, you know, set a launch date, and then you literally are just working up each and every day to get to that day. That is called the Big Bang approach, where you have like the big bang of an idea, and then you start strategizing, and then you start kicking in marketing and planning and all these different things. And then next thing you know, you have a launch date months out, and you start to get to work on actually building the damn thing. See? Big bang product. So testing, planning, and building the thing kind of all happen simultaneously along with developing your marketing strategy. And so as you know, as a marketer, that's the methodology that I typically subscribe to. But in doing some of the research I've done lately, what I've come across is a much more agile approach. And so what the agile approach looks like is rolling out your minimum viable product as soon as possible, getting feedback on it as quickly as possible, iterating and repeating to the point where you start out with something small, you know, you launch it as quickly as possible, you get feedback from a few core users, and then you iterate, it gets a little bit bigger, a little bit more robust, a little bit better planned. It gets you feedback quicker, and you get to make changes quicker, and you get to determine whether or not there's actually a market fit for what you're doing. Every company undergoes a pivot at some point. And so I would much rather pivot early on and realize that there's not a market for the thing I had in my brain than, you know, spend 3 to 6 months, spend thousands of dollars and all this time to learn later on that that's not the case. Hell, even Airbnb had to pivot like 3 times before it became Airbnb. So to me, what that little box I drew on the paper signifies is a minimum viable product, an MVP. In my research, I came across Airbnb's story, and it's pretty interesting. I mean, the guys, they originally built Airbnb on just a WordPress site, and they did everything manually. They got like 10 houses that they were able to talk people into renting. They listed them on this WordPress site. They asked people if they wanted to stay there, and they just handled booking via email. Once they started doing that, they quickly realized that there was a market for this idea, and then they started investing the time and energy and resources into actually building what it became today. That's what makes me really excited, because I am trying to do that myself right now. So long story short, that's where I'm at right now, in my mind at least, with the business I'm trying to roll out and create. And I think the fact that there are like 10 people who watch this, and so yeah, I'm just gonna accelerate my timeline. So maybe I'll just launch it tomorrow. What do you think? Good idea, bad idea, maybe not so much? Either way, I'll see you tomorrow.